Hello and welcome. So I'm just making sure that you can see everything. So I am in a new kitchen, so we want to make sure that you can see what's going on, and welcome. So we are going to be doing a very easy recipe tonight, and we're going to be using, of course, our Cook Expert, but we're going to be cooking the sun-dried tomato pesto pasta with some steamed chicken, and we're doing it all using the Cook Expert. I'm even going to cook my pasta in there as well tonight. So we've got all that happening, which is exciting. So I hope you all do enjoy it. I know it's a recipe that I've really enjoyed putting together as well. So I hope that you love it as much as everybody else that tried it for me did. And we'll just give everyone a minute or two to get going with us. So welcome if you haven't joined us before. I really love you all joining in and having a look. I know Perth, you might not be cooking yet. You might be watching this again later, because obviously now it's a 3-hour time gap that we've got, time difference that we've got there as well. So if you're not watching live, then that's okay. You might get a chance to watch again later and put this one together. This is a really nice recipe that you can do either hot, serve hot, or it's actually really nice chilled the next day or that afternoon or whenever you want to get to it. So that's another great recipe as well, because you can take it for leftovers if you don't have the facility to heat things up as well. So we'll get going in about a minute. Now the linguine that I'm using is this one here. I found that it just cooked quicker for me. So for a quick recipe, if you've got sort of harder linguine, that's okay. It'll just take a little bit longer, so just bear with it. But I'm going to do all of that in our Cook Expert as well. So I've got my beautiful serving bowl ready to go and all of my ingredients. So what do we have? We've got our sun-dried tomatoes, our slivered almonds, our Parmigiano cheese. Now, in regards to the cheese, if you don't have that, it is a little bit difficult to get and it can be quite expensive. So you can use Parmesan if that's what you want to do. My tip for this cheese is you buy it in a large triangle. And what I've done is I've grated half a cup every time I've needed it. And then I've put the rest of it in the freezer, because it's not one you want to go off in the fridge. And then when I'm ready to use it, I grate it from frozen, ready to go. So this is probably the 4th time I've made this recipe, and I'm still using the same block of cheese. So one $14 block of cheese is actually going to last you quite a number of meals. So I probably can do it 2 more times. So I'll probably get about 6 goes out of that one block of cheese. So definitely worth the investment for that little bit of extra sort of strong cheesy sort of taste. So we've also got some garlic. So the first thing I'm going to do is my pesto. So I've got my food processor ready, and I've got my mini bowl. So that's the one that we're going to whip this up in. Now, of course, we love doing pestos. There's so many different variations of pesto that you can do. So don't just think basil and pine nuts. This is a sun-dried tomato, slivered almonds is what I'm using. And then, of course, the difference in the cheese, some garlic and some parsley. So rather than using basil, which we normally would as well, we're going to be using some parsley in that as well. So I hope you enjoy it. This actually is also a really nice dip. So if you wanted to just eat this as a dip, I made this on TVSN a couple of weeks ago. Now what I have done is I bought bottled sun-dried tomatoes, so not semi-dried, but sun-dried tomatoes. And then I did drain most of the oil off. You can leave a little bit of oil. I didn't want to use the oil. It's probably a little bit strong in taste to use the oil. So I am going to use some olive oil, but it's up to you. If you want that extra strong sun-dried tomato taste, you could probably use that oil instead of adding some olive oil. But yes, so we're going to add our sun-dried tomatoes. Yes, but I did make it on TVSN, and they literally stood around the bowl and ate it with biscuits, and they didn't eat the pasta. They loved it. So it is a really nice one to do just as a straight dip if you want to as well. I'm going to add in my slivered almonds. So it's about 1/4 cup. I'm a total guesser. Sorry. I am. I have given you obviously measurements, but play around with it. If you want it a little bit chunkier, you don't have to blend it as long either. So that's always an option. So we're going to pop our cheese in there. And it's a really quick one to prep as well. So it really didn't take a lot of time to get that all prepped. That's just some garlic. You can add more. I think I said 2 cloves, but I may have pushed it to 3. Now, the other thing my tip is with garlic is I always cut them in half, and I always remove the germ out of the middle. So that germ quite often is when people say I can't eat garlic, it repeats on me, or it burns, whatever. That's quite often the part that actually does that. So removing that will help. So that's a little tip. Now I'm also going to add some parsley, and I've just got some flat leaf continental parsley, about 1/4 cup, but you know, I'm not going to measure that. More washing up to have to measure everything. So I'm just going to pop that in there as well. And then we're going to get going. I don't know whether that's on, so let's just get that going. Now, I'm just going to remove that, and I'm going to start adding my oil. Oh. Now, I'm just going to give that a little scrape down. But like I said, you can make this as chunky or as fine as you like. So if you like the crunch with the almonds, you know, you could put the almonds in a little bit later and not blend it as much, or you can just not blend it as much from now. But we'll give that a little stir. And also the oil, of course, you can, it's about 1/3 cup. Of course, I'm measuring it like I do. Okay, so we'll pop that in there as well. Just that little bit extra, and then we'll just pop that for one last whip around. Okay, and there we have it. Now pesto, which I'm going to sit these things behind me. See all this extra space that I didn't have before. I've got, look at this. It's amazing. It's so much easier to cook in, let me tell you. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to get ready to mix that ready through our pasta when we are done. So I'll pop that aside, and we're going to get ready with our Cook Expert. Now, I am going to, and I probably should have added it already, but I'm going to add some hot tap water. I'll let that run for a second. What I have also done is I have boiled the jug. The reason I've done that is because when I go to do the pasta, I'm just going to speed the process up. So if you don't want to do it that way and you want to just heat your water in here before you add your pasta, absolutely. But for speed for tonight, I'm going to do that way. So let me just grab some water just for my steaming. Okay, so making sure that you're covering that first mark in your bowl as a minimum when you're steaming. I actually found out recently, and I didn't know this, but if you forget to put water in here and you're using the steam function, it comes up with an error telling you that there's no water in there. Isn't that amazing? I thought it was absolutely unbelievable. Okay, have I put too much water in there? No, I'm good. Okay, so I'm going to grab my chicken. Now you can do a little bit of spray in your steaming basket if you need to, just because it helps to sort of stop that chicken sticking at all. So we're going to pop in our chicken. It was about 500 grams. I think I've got a bit more than that here, but we'll just see what I can fit in. You don't want to stack them on top of each other either. You want just a nice layer of that chicken in there. So yeah, about 500 grams. That will do me. That you want to pop in there as well. Beautiful. And then we're going to get ready to do the steaming. So the steaming, I'm going to start with 10 minutes. Now, sorry, I'm just going to come around here to change that. So I'm going to go into my cooking function, and then I'm going to go along to my steam function, and then it says 20 minutes, but I'm going to drop that to 10. Oh, got a bit excited then, how quickly that went. And then I'm going to leave it at 110 degrees. So let's get that started. Actually, I'm going to up it a little bit. I'm going to go 120 just because it's going to get that water done and heated quicker. So we're going to give that 10 minutes. Now, generally after 10 minutes, it's not quite ready, but then I like to flip the chicken over just so that it gives it more of an even cooking. So I'm just going to grab some tongs to be able to do that as well. So we'll get that going and then we can move on. So what I'm going to do is with the pesto, so at the end we're going to mix obviously all the pasta through. I'm going to shred my chicken as well, so we'll get that shredded while our pasta's cooking. Now I did mention this is the pasta that I bought. Takes about sort of less than 10 minutes to cook, so it's actually nice and quick for a recipe like this. I don't use the whole box. I did try it with the whole box. It was a little bit more pasta than I really needed and thought that it would turn out to be, but it does tend to enlarge itself. So about sort of, I don't know, half to 3/4 of the box, depending on how many people you're serving as well. And my other tip too is to save some of that pasta water at the end to help mix through that beautiful pesto as well. So if you wanted to make this a meat-free Monday option, you could definitely do this without the chicken. So it is beautiful through any sort of pasta. So give it that, mix through. So if you wanted to do some curly pasta or, any other type of pasta, some fusilli, so it really gets into those sort of curly bits and all of that, that's definitely an option. So if you don't want to do the chicken, you've just got everything that you need to do just the meat-free version. Absolutely amazing. Do that as well. You could do it with some nice grilled tuna as well. So if you wanted to be really clever and put that through there, I think that would be really yummy. I haven't tried it, but it sounds delicious. So yeah, there's lots of different options that you can do when you're doing something like this as well. So we'll just stick with our chicken for tonight. And then of course, giving you options. And we love options. We love, for those that might be vegetarian, vegan, you'll have to look for a vegan style cheese. But, there's definitely options with all of these recipes for you to change things as well, which we like. Which makes it nice because we like to be able to change things and, flick things around and all of that. So we'll get on to that. So this is my chicken. Now the thing with the chicken as well is you want to make sure that there are some sort of holes showing, just a few, just to help with that steam coming through. Just helps to give it sort of more of that cook through evenly as well. So it's a shame you can't see, but it's not steaming yet, but it is warming up, that's for sure. And it doesn't take very long to do either, which I love. So some of you might have seen a recipe that I do, and if you haven't seen this one, look for it because this is a household favourite here. So we steam our chicken with some taco seasoning over it. And then once that's steamed, I actually empty the bowl of the water. I wipe the bowl out, I put the chicken into the bowl, and I use the machine to actually shred the chicken as well. I'm not going to do that tonight only because I want the pasta cooking. I don't want more washing up by having to get a saucepan out to boil my pasta. Certainly an option for you if you wanted to make it quicker, because you could have your pasta on while you're doing this, but it's up to you. If you love washing up, then make as much mess as you like. I'm okay with that. So we've got Sarah on the end there, on the other side down in Tassie. She's going to be answering your questions tonight. So if you're keeping up and cooking with us tonight, then absolutely. You can probably see my puppies every now and then run along the grass. So they're getting used to the new house as well. But yeah, so Sarah's there. She's going to answer your questions. If you are cooking with us, then trying to keep up, then she's got the recipe with her as well. So she can make sure that you've got all that. But if you've just joined us, we've started by making our sun-dried tomato pesto. So a bottle of sun-dried tomatoes, so not semi-dried, so sun-dried tomatoes definitely works better. I did drain the oil out of that and then add some olive oil to make my mixture to the consistency that I want. I used some slivered almonds, so you don't want to use like your thinly sliced or whole almonds. The slivered almonds just allowed it to chop sort of better and not be so chunky, I guess, if you used whole almonds. We've added some garlic in there. We've added that beautiful Parmigiano cheese, which you can always replace for Parmesan if that's what you've got, and parsley. I think that's it. And then our oil as well. So we've got that done first of all, and we've got that sitting aside ready to go for us. All that's starting to warm up now, so that we can then mix that through, of course, our pasta. So Sarah, hello. Down there in Tassie. I don't know what the weather's like there, but today we finally had a beautiful day. I spent the long weekend in South Australia, and it was freezing. The only thing warming was the Coonawarra, which was fabulous. It definitely kept us warm. But yes, and then I brought the bad weather home with me. So sorry about that for those that live in Sydney, but it's back. We've had a beautiful day today. So daylight savings has kicked in, giving us that extra hour, which I love. You just know summer's around the corner when we get that extra hour. So we've got lots of things to do and lots of, amazing recipes at this time of year. Getting ready for Christmas, which is really scary. It's something like, I don't know, it's like 80 days or less than 80 days, something crazy. Somebody tell me if you know. Sure, somebody out there is counting down and Christmas fanatic. So my daughter's already hassling me to put Christmas decorations up. Mind you, she's in her 20s, so it's not like she's a child. She's my child, but yes, she's the most excited about Christmas just for decorations. But yes, it's very scary that it's so close. So yes, you want to start coming up with these beautiful recipes. And this is actually a really good one if you're entertaining. You can see the bowl that I'm using today, and it fills this bowl. Like, it makes a beautiful amount of pasta. Beautiful bowl too, isn't it? I love it. This is a new piece that I have collected, and I absolutely love this bowl. I want more of them. I'm just thinking lined up down the table, pasta dishes, garlic bread, all those beautiful things in there. Oh, we're steaming up now. That's what we love. Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing to be able to be out. You know, you want to serve well and have things outlaid beautifully as well. So it's all about presentation as well as how amazing that food is. And if you're going to spend the time cooking, you want to make it look amazing as well. So yes, okay. We're steaming up. Let's have a look at how long we're in. Oh, we've only got 3 minutes to go. It's amazing how once it starts steaming, how quickly it starts to cook as well. So we'll get that going for the last 3 minutes, and then I'll do the flip. And again, it's going to depend on the temperature of the chicken, the temperature of your water, all of those things. I do suggest sometimes too, if it's not quite cooked through, take it out, pop it onto a plate, pop some foil over it, let it sort of just continue cooking itself rather than overcooking it, and, you know, sort of rest it a little bit like that as well. So we'll definitely check that, because we don't want raw chicken. No one likes raw chicken. And we'll get that going. So who's cooking along with me tonight? I'd love to know. I always love to know who's actually, you know, making it along with us and you know, getting ready for dinner. It's one of these dishes that you don't get that smell as you're cooking, or unless you're poking your nose in there, which smells amazing. But you're going to get that beautiful flavour once it all comes together. And pasta's always fabulous the next day. So really great next day kind of dinner, kind of meal, kind of lunch, anything that you want to do. Okay, so we mustn't have too long left. I love how warm that gets so quickly, or hot that gets. I can still put my hands on it, so that's a good thing. So there's two things you can do once we're ready to do the pasta. You can leave the water in there and just then top it up if you want to do that. Obviously, because it's going, that chicken, if any of the juice from the chicken's running, it's going into the water and it's actually fine. It's not going to harm you in any way. Or if you're worried about it, feel free, tip out the water and replace it with fresh water to cook your pasta. No one's judging here. Do whichever way you like, because it's all going to get cooked, and you're cooking at high temperatures as well, so you're not going to have to worry about that. Okay, I can see that that is coming absolutely beautifully together. I'm just going to grab, sorry. Oh, do you know what I love about this house is that the Glad wrap, all those things fit beautifully, and they're tall, so you can double things up if you've got spares. I love it. It's the simple things. Honestly, live in a couple of houses before you rebuild a house, I say, because you need to, you know, make sure everything's right. Okay, we must be down to seconds almost. I can't see in the reflection. I haven't quite worked out where everything is yet. No, it's a bit low. But hopefully, let me know if there's enough light, if the sound's okay. It's kind of a little, I kind of feel it could be a bit echoey, but hopefully it's all sort of good. This is the first one in this house, so we need to obviously make sure that it's A-okay and all working well. Okay, now this chicken is looking fabulous, and I can see that it's almost white the whole way over. Obviously, it's not going to quite be cooked in the middle, but that's okay. But it's getting there, and like I said, this has only been 10 minutes, not even almost 10 minutes, that we're going to have that ready to go. Just to give it a quick flip, and then I'm going to pop it on for another 5, just so you can all hear me continue to talk. Sorry. Okay, no, not sorry. You love it. Okay, so have we got anyone new here tonight? I'd also love to know that. We always love to have fresh faces in here and watching, and of course we always love that we have our regulars that join me every time we do these cook-alongs. We love that as well. Okay, so let me just show you. I'm going to pick up a piece of chicken. So you can see on both sides it's white, a little bit pink down the side there. So then I'm just going to flip them over. Oh, they're just coming together beautifully. Yep. And as they cook, they get a little bit smaller, so we can just get those holes up a little bit. Pop the lid back on. And then I'm just going to add 5 minutes to that. Oh, let's go the right way. Probably doesn't even quite need 5 minutes, to be honest, but let's just have a look at how we're going. I might now bring that oh no, I'll leave it. It's fine. We'll leave it. At 100, so I'm sitting on 120 with that temperature. But yeah, so 10 minutes, turn your chicken over, give it another 5-ish. Like I said, depending on how much is in there, try not to stack it. You know, you could even, if you wanted to do an extra layer, you could use the extra layer in here. So you could do 2 layers of chicken if you're cooking for more people. There's no reason why you can't do that. What I would suggest with that is that halfway through, I would swap the chicken on the top to the bottom. Just swap them around, which is pretty quick and easy to do. So just a little tip for you if you want to do it that way, and then do twice as much as well. So I'm going to just use a little bit of foil just in case I need to cover that chicken for a minute or so. And I'm going to grab a couple of forks. Like I said, I'm going to shred this myself while the pasta's cooking, just to keep it going, and rather than use the machine to do that, because we've got the time while that pasta's cooking. So let me get that ready. My pasta was on special today too. We love that. Now, the other thing too is if you're using like your hard dried long, so if you bought a packet of the long linguine, you may want to snap it in half, although you could try just standing it up and then letting it sit in hot water for a bit, and then as it softens, stir it in, and then turn the machine on if you need to, if that makes sense. But we shouldn't have to do that. Tonight we are looking good. Okay, so yes, I was saying, anyone that's new, please let us know. We always love new faces, so it's always good. It's also nice to, you know, we always recommend to people that have bought machines for the first time. It's a really great way for them to get to know the product and build that confidence to use the product, because you know, you hear stories of people spending money on a product like this and then they're not using it because they're scared or they just don't know what to do in it. And so we want to make sure that you're all using your machines, which is why we love to be able to do these as well. Okay, we must be close. Okay. So now's the time to start like meal planning for your Christmas, I think. Start to think about all the things that you're going to make. All those beautiful slices and desserts, and those beautiful stuffings for your chicken and your turkeys, and those beautiful glazes for your meat. And there's so many things to do, so many things to prepare, to get ready for that beautiful season of spending time with friends and family. So this just makes it easier, I think. Makes it much easier. What can I make in advance? What can I put in the freezer? What can I, you know, take the stress out so on the day it's just all together. I'm actually going to attempt this year with the gelato expert is to do a layered ice cream cake. So I'm going to make all of the layers of the flavours that we love, put them all together and make a beautiful layered ice cream cake covered in berries, and I'm just so excited by that. But yes, so that's something that I'm definitely going to be doing this Christmas. Okay, what are we at? Because I think... No, I've got like a minute to go, but I actually think this is going crazy in here because I don't want to overcook my chicken. So I'm just going to have a quick look. Perfect. I don't even think that I'll need to put... Yeah, look at that. Absolutely perfect. I don't even think I'll need to put foil on that. Okay, we've got that out. I'm going to remove my bowl. Like I said, if you want to use the water that's in there, absolutely go for it. I've boiled the jug, so I am going to I'm going to use the water that's in there. Like I said, it's just going to give it more flavour with all that chicken. Now, in terms of water, you want to fill it. I think I worked it out. I'm going to double check that. It's really hard upside down. But you want to fill it. I've just not to the full capacity. So you want to go about 500 mils under. The reason being is once we add that pasta, it's going to obviously increase the volume that's in there. So we don't want to go over. So I'm going to add my pasta. This is why I love this pasta, because of the size of it. And it just goes in here absolutely beautifully. Now, if a little bit of it is sticking out, that's okay. Just keep an eye on it. And that's the beauty of having the glass lid, because then as we start bubbling and boiling away, if we need to, we can just go in there and change that as well. Probably just a little bit more. I did tell the girls at the office today to pop over for dinner tonight. Not that any of them really live that close to me. A couple of them do, or one of them. So if we hear a knock on the door, could be them. Okay, so I'm going to pop that back on, and we're going to boil our pasta. Now, this is what I love about being able to use the Cook Expert, that we're being able to do everything. So let me just pop that on. I'm going to take that on to simmer, and I'm going to actually put it down to 0 speed, and we're going to cook that about 10 minutes. I can't quite remember what I wrote in the instructions, but the instructions I wrote are correct. So sorry, Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong. And I'm going to pop that on. Now, I'm going to pop it on at 110, but I'm going to watch it, because what I found was I tried to do it a little bit hotter, but it bubbled too much. So it was probably overdoing it, maybe. I don't know. It just got a bit crazy in there. So I dropped the temperature down, and I'm pretty sure I did it at about 110. But yes, Sarah does have the instructions there if I've messed that up at all. But I'm pretty sure. So just, like I said, keep an eye on it. If you need to stir it during the process, obviously you need to stop that and give it a little stir. Okay. We're running out of room here. What am I doing? Oh, that's right. I've got that huge space behind me that I can move everything. Okay. Don't need my foil now. Okay. So, shredding chicken. Super easy. I always just do it with 2 forks if I'm not doing it with the machine, and just pulls apart. If you want to cut it up, you can cut it up, but I just like the sort of look of just, you know, tearing that apart. And then you've got, you know, pieces as big or small as you want to do them. Now, my children, as I've said before, are so fussy. So when I made this dish, I was like, okay. And because I've moved, my neighbours are devastated. So now I don't have anyone to run food to, because I haven't worked that out with the neighbours yet. But they, my daughter had her friend over for dinner one night. So I pulled it out and I gave her a container of it, and I said, here you go, try this, but you need to tell me what you think, because that's the only way that I roll, is that you need to give honest feedback. So she did send her feedback the next day in a little essay saying how amazing it was and how crazily silly my children are for not even wanting to try it, and that she was giving it 5 stars. So that's exciting. I always love it when you please people with food, and because it's got that beautiful texture, that little bit of crunch with those slivered almonds as well, and then that chicken. Like I said, if you want to go meat-free, this is a beautiful recipe to do meat-free. If you wanted to make it a creamy pasta, by all means you could add a little bit of cream. I realise I'm really reaching, so I'm just going to pull it back for a sec. You can add some cream to it too if you wanted to make it a creamier pasta. You just have to sort of heat that through. Oh, this chicken is cooked absolutely perfectly. So that cooked in about 14 minutes, just less than 14 minutes, which is amazing. And that was just from hot tap water as well. So if you wanted to speed it up, put some boiling water in there, and it'll just give you a few less minutes of cook time. Okay. We are just about there. How's my pasta looking? I'm actually going to increase my temperature. Oh, no, don't do that. That's the last thing we want. I'm going to increase it to 120 just to get it to the boil. I think that's what I did. And then once we've got bubbling away, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So, because again, we just want everything to be quick. Like I said, you could put your water in there and get it boiling first. I didn't do that. Actually, I might add also a little bit of salt, which I didn't do either. Oh, thought that was starting to boil, but I think it was because I was jiggling it around. Okay, so I am going to add just a little bit of salt to my water as well, which I normally do. Again, it's up to you. Now, in terms of seasoning, I have not seasoned this, and I generally don't like to. I do have some friends that don't like salt and pepper, so I find that I just don't over season anything. And if it doesn't need it, you can add it yourself. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. That is completely up to you. But that chicken is now shredded. I might just cover it just to keep it warm for a few minutes while we get our pasta on, our pasta ready. Now, the other great thing too is when you go to drain your pasta, I just drain it in the steaming basket. Again, less washing up, that's what we love. So just using the product helps to clean the bowl as well. Okay, so we are getting there on our pasta. I can just see that about to start boiling up. And once it does, I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. But again, it's just so quick. It's that induction heating, it's quick, it's to the degree, it gets the job done quickly. We absolutely love that. So we're just about ready there as well. And what is the time? Oh, 6:30 in Sydney. So it's been about half an hour. So like I said, there are ways you can speed this recipe up if you're in a hurry. But I think any meal you can do in 30 minutes is a winner in my books, because, you know, what's for dinner? Oh, my least favourite question. Hate it. Okay, so we're nearly there. How long's that been going for? We're just about bubbling away. And this pasta does cook quite quickly as well. So, like I said, it's, I think on the box, 6 to 8 minutes. Yep, but that is obviously if my water was boiling already. So I can see now that that's starting to get that bit of froth on the top as well. So we've got that water boiling beautifully. And we'll get ready to turn that down. Oh, we'll see how we go. I might just actually leave it on 120 if it's not going to go too crazy. And we're nearly there. Who's hungry? Who's ready to eat? Who's now thinking, I should have cooked along because I could be eating any minute now? I didn't, because I don't know why, because I'm crazy. Or because you're 3 hours behind in WA, which is really unfair. But yeah, we have just taken off in the boiling department. So I am going to just drop that temperature slightly. Still going to keep it hot, but of course we don't want to boil anything over. And that just settles nicely. So you got to remember, don't fill your water to the max line. Keep it a little bit under, so when you add your pasta, it doesn't go over on you, because we want to obviously keep everything in the bowl, not everything everywhere. That's the thing we don't want to do. I'm going to give that pasta a stir in actually now. Let me just check I put my cap back on properly. Well, that could be embarrassing. Okay, so we're just going to give that just a little move around just to make sure that everything's going to cook evenly, because I don't think we've got much time left. Okay, so we'll get that going for the last few minutes and we are nearly there. Did you see the puppy? She's doing laps. I just saw her out there. Don't concentrate on her, concentrate on me. But she's super cute. I'm surprised they're not jumping up at the window. Okay, so we're nearly there. We've got that pasta going. We've got our ready to strain, so I'm going to use that I cooked my chicken in. Ready to do that. And then we've got our bowl and everything ready to put it together. So we are going to reserve a little bit of the pasta water as well. It is a nice way to get that sun-dried tomato through all of your pasta. So it just gives it that little bit of extra moisture. So we're going to make sure that we save some of that. So I'll just grab a scoop to pop aside to help us to stir all that through. It makes it a little bit harder to stir through if you don't have that little bit of extra liquid. So that's why we're doing that. That's why it's highly recommended that we do that. I've got my chicken shredded that I've just shredded with a couple of forks to get that ready. I've got my beautiful pesto all ready to go as well. And we have liftoff almost. The other thing I would do is suggest to serve this with some extra cheese on the top. I'm going to do that. And some extra parsley on the top. Just going to find my cheese. So I'll show you this cheese to prove to you that I really do this. So it is called Parmigiano. So that's it here. And it's quite a large triangle. And I just pop it into the freezer. So then when I need it, I just grate it straight into a bowl to do my pasta. My pesto. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the top. So again, from frozen, it's going to defrost super quickly once I finally shred it. Just going to go over the top of there as well. So we'll leave that there. And this is going to make our beautiful dish. We're nearly there. We must be seconds away. Let's have a look. Yeah, we've got a minute to go. A little bit longer, this Cookalong. You stuck with me for that little bit of extra time tonight. Sorry about that. But we're nearly there. And like I said, there are so many ways that we can speed up this recipe as well. You could do barbecue chicken if you wanted to do barbecue chicken. You could do some beautiful tuna steaks. Would be really lovely through this one. Meat-free, just do the sun-dried tomato. Sun-dried tomato, this one is also fabulous as a dip. So it's a really nice one to be able to just use with crackers. You will love it. So yes, lots of options. So that is really, really just about ready for me to take off. So now I do need to actually turn the temperature down a little bit because it is decided that it's going to boil up and we don't want that. Oh, we've got 15 seconds to go. So that's why, I just like to watch it, keep it at the right temperature, make sure that it's not going to do anything crazy on me. And we're ready to go. Seconds to go. Are you ready? Beep. Delicious. Oh, that pasta looks absolutely perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of that pasta water. I'm going to pop that aside. Nothing worse than meaning to keep pasta water and then tipping it all to drain it and then remembering I forgot to save the pasta water. It's just not the same putting water in it. It doesn't give you the same flavour. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to give that a strain. Like I said, I'm just doing it straight into my steam basket, which I've already used, which is great. Sorry for my back. Okay, but see, like that's come out absolutely beautifully. I'm going to grab my pasta. Now the fun bit is just to put it all together. So let me just pop that aside, bring in my fabulous bowl. Now, if you need to mix this through with your hands, nobody's watching. Just do what I say. Maybe put gloves on if it's hot. Don't recommend that. Okay, here we go. We're going to pop in our sun-dried tomato. Oh, you could even save a little bit for your crackers later. We're going to stir that through. Oh, I love this spatula because it gets everything out. The dog is scratching at the door because she's clearly like, I can smell chicken. Okay, so we're going to mix that through. Oh, and now you can really get that smell coming out, which we love. This is the hardest part, I reckon, is the stir through. If anyone knows a better way to do this, feel free to share. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of that water just to give me a little bit of extra liquid through there, which definitely makes it easier, 100%. Okay, there we go. Now this is where, if you weren't all watching, I'd have my gloves on and I'd be stirring it up. I'm going to add my chicken. through there as well. So this really just gives that, extra amount and bulk to your recipe and your meal as well. But like I said, do it meat free if you want to. We're going to stir all that through. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Oh, look what I'll be eating for the next week. I'm okay with that. Okay, so then to finish it off, I would pop some more cheese over the top. Like so. I'm going to add a little bit of extra parsley. Just like so, and voila, we've done it. So we've got our beautiful sun-dried tomato pesto chicken pasta that you can enjoy hot or cold. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you love it. I hope that you've made it. If you have made it, give us some comments on what you think of the recipe as well. If you haven't made it, feel free to chat with us later and tell us what you feel, what you thought when you've actually put it together. So enjoy your dinner. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.